Well, Dale Boyer and I ran Sky Sports for about 6 years. And we I handled most of the business management side of it. And Dale handled a lot of the training and physical activities of packing and stuff like that. I'd assist wherever I could. But we did it because we wanted to have a place to jump. Simple as that. And so we worked with Bill Seed and got the Cessna 207 out and started having some fun. And then we brought in the couple of DC-3s and the Kilroy from the Topeka Restoration Group up there with the old Air Force, and got to know them pretty well, worked with them quite a bit, and they came down, flew us numerous times, and during that period, wound up doing a lot of teaching, a lot of jumping, and a lot of demos.
Uh, how did Dave Snyder fit in when you were there?
Okay, Dave was the person who started Sky Sports, started it up in Harrington, and they moved it to Hutchinson. And I started skydiving in Harrington. I made my first couple dozen jumps or something up there. And then really did most of my skydiving in Hutchinson. And Dave ran it then for about, I'm going to guess about 5.5, 6 years. And kind of grew tired. He was really wanting to do something a little different. And got Dale and I to take it over and operate it. As simple as that. He still flew airplanes for us a lot. He still came by, still packed parachutes, still did sewing and activities, and was a spiritual leader. Yeah, he made sure that we stayed on the straight and narrow. And of course, being next to the Kansas Law Enforcement Academy also helped us maintain a certain amount of decorum and self-righteousness that allowed us to stay out of trouble, which for a skydiving group was good. I really liked working with students, putting them out on stack line, early jumps, early relative work, working with them, and truly enjoyed it. And then I also enjoyed organizing a lot of 16-way, 20-way, 25-way formations out of the DC-3s and doing demos, whether it was at Riverfest or at a private situation or even at the Cessna Stadium a couple of times. So I made my fair number of jumps into the Wichita area and into surrounding areas. And then I did, I'm going to guess, maybe 24 air shows in Kansas. Anything from the Topeka Air Show to small ones out in western Kansas where we had one airplane and 2 or 3 skydivers, and we'd go out, open up the show, and close the show. Bob Wheaton started after Dave had been in Hutch for, I'm going to guess, about a year. And Dave needed someone to assist with being able to instruct students and to help pack parachutes because he had picked up packing all of the parachutes for Boeing, Cessna, Lear, and Beech. And it was quite an armful to be able to keep up with that, and had a lot of repair business with the other parachute rigs. Plus, he was making his own rig at that time and selling it. And so he needed a little bit more ability to have time to work on those things. And Bob came in and filled out the time. And also, ironically, at that time, Dave was just about our only pilot. So he was pulled off a lot, and that really affected the students. So he brought Bob in to be dedicated for the students. And of course, Bob was very good with students, but he was also a great skydiver, and he had his social events also. Had some great time skydiving. Some of the more memorable experiences of my life. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about interaction. And I learned a lot about what it means to be a friend. I was in high tech. And toward the end, I wound up working for NCR. And as I got to the end of my career, it was kind of cut short by an injury on my knee. And I was working for NCR, and it was kind of a decision time. Am I going to devote my time to becoming something within the corporate world, or was I going to go back and skydive? Because I was finding it very hard to do both, and they were not real easy to mesh together. So I was one of those who had a lot of the different jobs. But essentially everything was in high tech. By the end, I had trained upward of 450, 500 students. Wow. And probably jump mastered 700, 800. By the time accelerated freefall really came around, I had injured my knee and was starting to slow down and take it easy, trying to preserve the ability to walk. Thinking that might be a nice tradition to carry on. Well, toward the end, it was a decision. Do I want to do something different? I go, okay, I am. I'm going to quit. It's too dangerous just to be an occasional jumper. So I figured if I couldn't jump all the time, I was going to go find other happiness somewhere else.
Yeah.
I did.
What I did.
Don't regret a single moment of the jumping. There were certainly some tense moments, and there were a few of them I'd like not to have had, but overall, great experience. Taught me a lot about myself and some about others. RB. Club safety officer. I want to hear one cheer for the club safety officer. I also want to bring up one quick story that sometimes the best times weren't jumping. They were on windy days when we couldn't jump. And if you missed a windy day, you missed a really good time. So, Butch is here and Fast Eddie is here. And it was a windy Sunday. And Butch had brought this sewer pig out to the drop zone. Those of you who don't know what a sewer pig is, it was about 16 inches of heavy rubber that weighed 87 pounds. And we were wondering what we could do that afternoon. So, well, let's just put it like this. They had a race the day before. There were all these barrels out there at the drop zone, and we thought we'd go bowling. So we have this combination of a sewer pig, 10 barrels, and an airplane. Well, we put the 10 barrels at the end of the runway, the formation of bowling, and we talked Leo into flying us. It wasn't hard, because when he heard what we were going to do, he wanted to be part of it. I like that. So, you know, safety officer and everything, I was going to be part of it. Well, the first time we did it, we didn't quite have our act together. We had Leo up a little too high because we were probably 15 feet up off the ground. So the ball jumped over all 10 barrels. We went out there a half mile later, found that sucker. Okay, we're going to try her again. So
remember, there was nothing wrong with the approach. It was the release that was bad.
next time I was going to try the backspin. So we got that thing back, and Leo takes off, and I'm laying on the floor at 180 and have this little ball, but it was all good because I was a safety officer. And we take off, and we're really flying down the runway. And this time I turned loose about a quarter mile before the barrels. Leo pulls up about 15 feet and slows down so we can watch it. I am not a pilot, and I'm not over the safety of the airplanes. But when that pig hit the lead barrel, and Eddie, you got pictures to validate this. How high do you think the first barrel went?
It came real close to the airplane.
Real close. And these barrels were not usable after this. But
I recall it was an 8-pin hit.
the reason it was an 8-pin hit was because the ball was going so fast, the outside two never even knew what happened. Anyway, windy days, a lot of fun. Skydiving days, a lot of fun. Sky sports, a lot of fun. It's worthwhile. Thank all of you for being part of it.